how we doing today? Good for everybody to be here. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. I truly do. I'm going to be building another little section of the racks like the ones behind me here. And I thought I'd show y'all how I build them. These little plastic trays, they are wonderful trays. Very durable, won't break. But the containers that they come in, hang them on the wall, aren't so great. They don't work very well. They're flimsy, they're made of a plastic, not like the trays here, this Europlastic or urethane plastic that's flexible. They're made of a hard, crisp, rigid plastic. And they're not too sturdy and they tend to break pretty easy. So for that reason I build my own. So I'm going to show y'all how I did that in case you're interested in building some like the ones behind me. Got several other projects I'm working on for you. You're going to get some of my resin castings out here soon. And a few other shop jigs that I want to show y'all here in the next month. So, guys, hit the like button. Don't forget, please. Makes it all worthwhile. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, please do. If you have subscribed, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am honored. Let's get to work. Alrighty, my friends, what I've got here is a piece of 3/4 inch oak plywood. I think I've told y'all in the past, but I've got a bunch of these half sheets of oak plywood. They were, believe it or not, left off a job, and I had plenty of them. And I do mean plenty of them. Alright guys, the length of my board was 30 inches, so I'm setting mine dead on 27. Alright. Alright guys, and I've got the 3/8 inch dado blade in the saw, and I've got it protruding upward just under 3/8 of an inch. There we go guys. Now I'm going to move my saw guide inward 2 7/8 of an inch exactly and make my next pass, which is going to leave me 2.5 inches between the last cut. Remember, I can't do this straight off of measuring off the blade. I've got the 3/8 stack dado in the blade, so it's not going to center like it would if it was the regular 1/8 inch cut blade. But I'm going to move my guide over exactly 2 7/8, leaving 2.5 between the cuts. Right, I'm going to cut 3/8 inch wood to go in the middle here to make the shelves for the unit. But the trick thing here to remember when you're making this, if you're using this little bin, which is very common, very durable little bin, just the plastic cases that they give you to set them in are extremely flimsy. The bins are awesome, the cases are horrible. So I make my own cases. Your first cut, then 2 7/8 if you're using a 3/8 inch dado blade. If you're using a 1/4 inch dado blade, that measurement would change down to what, 2 3/4 move every time. I'm using 3/8, so I'm moving 2 7/8 every time. There we go, my friends. I've got my two-sided notch board, and while I was at it, I cut my one-sided notch board, which is for the 2 end panels where the drawers stop. Now I've got to cut them into the right width and depth for my trays. Bearing in mind, I'm going to be trimming out the front of them, so I'm going to cut them about 1/4 inch shy of their finished depth. A depth, like diving. Alright guys, I want the lip or the pull of my drawer to stick out past my trim. And my drawer is going to sit right there with my 1/8 inch trim on the front. So the diving depth of my cabinets is going to be 5 3/8 to the back of the drawer. I know y'all can't see that well. I can't zoom in on the camera that tight, but 5 3/8 is what I'm going to cut them at. There we go, my friends, all ripped down to that correct width. Now Mr. Berto has a little sanding to do. Not me. Okay, my friends, when you're sanding out lacquer between coats, spray lacquer that is, the best sanding process is 4/0 steel wool. Works the very best for lacquer between the coats. Gotta do the sanding, guys. Gotta do the sanding. Mr. Berto's busy on something else. Alright guys, my plastic bin is 4 3/8 of an inch, 4 3/8 of an inch wide. Tray number 418. It's a borrowed tray. Okay, my rabbits or my dados are a 1/4 inch. Dados, not rabbits, are a 1/4 inch on each side, which makes a 1/2 inch for a total of 4 7/8 inch is what I need to cut my shelf at. And I'm going to do a little play, and I'm going to cut it at 4 15/16, leaving 1/16 of an inch play. Alright guys, let me show you all what I'm doing here. To make a cross cut on a table saw, number one, I'm putting my edge that's going to show my front on the front of the blade to reduce tear out. I've clamped the board on to my slide, my gauge, to also reduce tear out. Having the board in the back will reduce on the tear out. And you never want to cut your board using your fence for your measurement, for your stop when you're cross cutting. When you make the cut, the board will get locked between the spinning blade and your fence, and it'll vibrate and it'll kick back and throw it right in your face. A very unsafe feature. I haven't made my square off cut yet. You always do your square off cut first, get it nice and square, and then when this goes through, it's not going to be trapped between the fence and the blade. On these Biesmeyer style fence, and I know it's on a stall stop, but the reason I call it a Biesmeyer is that was a gentleman that got in the works with Delta and Portacable back in the day and designed this type of fence. And it's been copied and used by many other people since the patent has ran out. And it is an awesome style fence. You can clamp to it and all your good stuff. And Peachtree or Rockler or Woodcrafters has these little clamps, and you just make your own little board with drilling the holes, and you do your measurement off of this board. Slide it up here. Get your good measurement off your blade. You can't use your measurement on your fence anymore because of the distance of the block. So you measure off of the block to your blade and get it set in place. Then move your block back out of the way. I'm only using my block as a stop. When I go through, my board is going to be floating. It won't be trapped between my fence and my blade, making it a much safer way to make a cut. Alright, my friends, I took the clamps off and got the top and the bottom nailed on. Sorry, forgot to film that. Was more concerned about getting it done. But just nailed on the top and the bottom. Nothing to write home about. There we go, guys. All done, ready to hang on the wall. Not. I'm just kidding with you. When you build it like that, guys, instead of using those little plastic trays that come with the bins, this will last you forever, because those little trays don't break. I don't know if I ever showed you guys or not, but these things are great. They're wonderful. Alright, guys, try and avoid the crudeness of what I'm trying to explain here. But let's say this is one of the units that I'm building, and this is the top of it, and this is the other one, and this is the top of it. If you want to go around a corner, if you were to bring these two together, the trays would hit when you tried to open them. Now you could leave a little smaller joint, and I'll show you that. But if you want it to flow around the corner like mine did, you build one stack of units with only one drawer in it, like this one. That way you can make your unit flow around the corner. It can, you know what I'm talking about. But again, pretending this is your wall and this is your wall. You need to put a small brace in the back. You want it to be able to mount your small unit. But that's how you can make it wrap around the corner like that. Now give me a second here and I'll show you another way. Alright, my friends, if you don't want to put a tray pulling out in the corner, this tray and this tray still need a little bit of clearance not to run into the handle of each other when they're pulled out in these two directions. So put you a little spacer in the corner, and once you do it, you just go ahead and trim it out when you're trimming the front side of your excuse me, your storage bins. Just a little filler, put a little bit of space there so your handles on your trays don't hit each other. Okay, my friends, I put a 3/4 inch plywood back on it, glued it and screwed it because I'm mounting it with the backboard and I want to make sure it can hold the weight. And I went ahead and screwed it up on the wall. It was real hard to do that and get the camera in place and not block the camera when I was working and so on. So it's on the wall. Standing back a little bit, I'm gonna make a little trim now on the table saw. I won't bore y'all watching me do that, and trim out the edges. Let me get a little bit of that done and I'll get right back to you. Y'all hang tight. Alright, my friends, I pulled a few scraps of different woods out of the scrap pile. Got a little oak there that I made some hole molding out of years ago, and some scrap base and some cut-offs. So let's see what I can make out of it. This old molding is pretty beat up, guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to salvage anything out of it. I forget what it came off of. There you go, my friends. I wasn't going to bother y'all with the last little pieces of trim or the brushing on the clear coat, but Makes little great storage sections. No matter what size you want, any height you want, just to fit your wall or your needs. Like I say, the little bins are great, but the containers they come in, they just aren't worth a hoot. Those wall hanging things just don't work. But build your own and they sure do. And my friends, if you look right here, you see the extra 1/4 inch of space. I'll explain why in a minute. It's one of those bonehead things. There we go, guys. I hope y'all found that interesting, and how you can make some nice looking and much sturdier bins using those little plastic trays. And what I did, I was a real bonehead. I took one out of the racks here behind me and used it for my sampling size to build my bin with, just assuming that the new ones I bought would be the same height and width and depth. And as far as width and depth, they were fine, but the new ones only came about 2 1/8 tall, which is the reason I have that 1/4 inch gap on the top. So I'm gonna figure something to put there. I don't know what I'll do. Probably cut a nice pretty little piece of accent wood and slip underneath each one to get it sitting a little higher, or just learn to like it where I can overstack the tray a little bit and leave it alone. Don't honestly know at the moment, but I'm gonna do something with it. And I'm working on a lot of other projects for y'all, my friends. Many shop jigs and projects. I also wanted to do a little small metal turning, brass and aluminum, even you know, ferrous metals. And I tried the little project I was working on a lathe, not on a lathe, excuse me, on the drill press. And it didn't work out very well. It worked, but it didn't work out very well. So I ordered myself one of those little Proxxon metal lathes, and also a small little Proxxon metal mill. And I'm going to be giving it a shot on that. It's not here yet. Ordered them up off of Amazon, so they'll be coming pretty soon. And I'll show y'all a few things and how to use them. So, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you've stuck with me this long and you hadn't hit that like button yet, please do. If you're a subscriber, thank you, guys. Thank you. Love talking to every one of you. Love hearing from you. Always a pleasure. If you're new and subscribing, please leave a comment. Please do. Reach out. Say hello. I love chatting with everybody. It makes it all worthwhile. If you check, you'll find it to be true. I answer everyone. Everyone. So, look forward to hearing from you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And thanks, y'all. Got to get back to work, and see you on the next one here in a few.